They know we're coming. What's up, Franz? We have a special treat for you. We have a special treat for you. Hector thinks so. Black Nose certainly thinks so. Hey, it's Mike. Welcome back to VW Farm. We've been so focused on what we're doing on the hill, we haven't really brought you in to see what we're doing here at the homestead. I'm gonna drop you off with Leah. She's gonna take it away for us.
Hey guys, let's just take a quick look at our home garden. Right in here, we have some peas. They did not come up nearly as well as I had hoped. We also have a ton of sunflowers that we're just gonna leave because they were with us last year. They germinated on their own. So, after our peas, we have 2 rows of broccoli, which are in desperate need of weeding and adding grass clippings. Next, we have our beans. These are green beans right here. We have our green beans. They are bush. Good question.
What's the difference?
Okay, the difference between bush beans and pole beans is that bush beans, they always stay kind of short and they don't need support, while pole beans, as their name implies, they need a pole to climb on to really take off. So these are ones that require less maintenance, less attention.
Wow, look at these tomatoes. These ones are Roma. I'll show you what the tag looks like. I want to say they're all Roma with the exception of a couple that I think we got at like beefsteak or something. Yes. We like Romas because for canning purposes, you can just see on the picture of the tag, they're just nice small tomatoes and they go through our Victorio strainer really well. They can and freeze really well. We're going to do a lot more canning this year than we are going to do freezing, hopefully. And we need to get some steaks in for them too. Do we have those steaks?
We do have steaks. This year, we're trying something new with our tomatoes. So, in between all of our tomatoes, and peppers too, we planted onions. And I did the same thing with our peppers that we did with the tomatoes, is plant onions in between them.
I really want to pull an onion.
No pulling onions yet. You have to wait. Peppers here, they always take a very, very long time to mature. They really like the heat in the summertime. So they're still quite squat right now, but they should start taking off in like July. We always have success with that. I'll probably come out and hit them again with some Epsom salts, which is always super helpful. Down here we have what's going to be cabbage and onions and garlic. When all of that comes up, like I said, this was planted about 2 days ago, so we're still waiting on that. And then we have a final row here of wax beans. Also, growing down below, we have some zucchini. They're just, I need to go in, weed around them, and start that. Along the outside, you can see some freshly stirred up soil. Those are pumpkins, and I did something similar on the other side with our cucumbers, rather.
Where's the post pounder?
That's a great question.
I think it's in the back shed. That's what Leah thinks too. Let's go look. Hey guys, do you know where the post pounder went? Thought I heard some ruckus back here. No? No one knows where the post pounder is? Well, here's our hay shed. We usually keep it back here. No, nothing. Here's another little shed. It might be in there too. Not seeing it in there. There's our old chicken coop door. It's gotta be around here somewhere. Minerva, do you know where the post pounder is? You ignoring me? Makes me tell me you do. You know where it is? No, but I know where those scratches are. I found it. It was right next to the front door, right where I left it. That one went in easier. It's a little cattywampus, but that's alright. We normally try to get that spike here down level with the ground. Sometimes you hit stones, and other times you give it 4 or 5 whacks, and it's down level with the ground. So now what we normally do is we take baling twine, because we have a bunch of it, and we run lines down these posts. And as the tomatoes grow up, we tie them to those posts loosely. You don't want to constrict the stems or break the stems, so we loosely tie them to the twine, and that helps stake them up. It's cheaper, it's easier, and we don't have to mess around with any of those tomato cages, which I think are a scam to begin with. But that's another story for another time. I've just been notified by my wife that the breed of tomato that we planted is a determinate breed. There's 2 types of, we'll call them breeds, even though there's more than 2 types. There's indeterminate and there's determinate. Indeterminate means they'll grow up as high as forever. Determinate means they grow up to a certain height and they stop. Now you can make an indeterminate tomato plant and do a determinate tomato plant. As the plant grows, there's like a feeder in the center, and that's what keeps producing more plants. If you cut that feeder off when you're pruning, it now becomes a determinate tomato plant, in a nutshell. So the determinate breed should bush out more like the bush beans, just become a bushier plant versus a tall plant. And it will require a little bit less maintenance. We don't have to tie them as frequently, but as the tomatoes grow, we're going to clip the bottom leaves and prune those, because you don't want any leaves touching the soil, because they can get diseases and fungal diseases such as blight, and we don't want blight. We've had blight in the past on multiple tomato plants, and we seem to, if we clip the leaves and prune the bottom edges and let the air get through there, it seems to curb it pretty well. We got a lot of weeds to take care of, including the garden and the perimeter. So with that said, we need to start cutting the grass because it's starting to look a little shaggy. And what better item to use for weed control than grass clippings? Here's just my standard lawnmower. I got a bagging attachment, and that's how we catch our grass clippings. We found that grass clippings are just beneficial in all ways around. It's a natural mulch. It provides nitrogen as the grass clippings decay. It retains water, and it keeps the weeds down. We've already started using grass clippings in the garden, and sure, some weeds poke through. This, compared to that, I'll yank 5 weeds over 1,000 any day. We're not scientists, we're just gardeners. Now from that little bit of mowing, we got about a half a bag full of grass clippings. Now I've heard this one many times. Well, want to grow grass in the garden? Yes and no. Here's an old dandelion, and there's no seed left on it. Here's a dandelion with some seed left on it. If you introduce seed to your garden, it's gonna grow weeds. Now with that said, I just mow over whatever's here, whether it introduces seed to the garden or not, and I've never had an issue. Here's a bit of grass that went to seed. That's the only way it's going to grow grass in the garden, is if it went to seed. But again, I haven't had many issues introducing any of my grass clippings to the garden. I've been doing this for 3 years, and it's been just fine. Now last year, we did an experiment with cardboard and grass clippings, and we found that the cardboard, it was okay, but you know, it creates a shelter for snakes. Grass clippings, they decompose, they mulch right into your garden, and it also creates that nice nutritional nitrogen fertilizer as it rots down. and it retains water well, and it disappears relatively quickly. Now you don't need a bagger system to do this. If you have a hand rake or a grass sweeper, it'll be a little bit more labor intensive, but you can do the same thing with those items. That's what we want to see right there. One final job to do. Garden looks a little better. Weed control is probably the hardest thing in a garden, and we have trouble with it too. It's not just an isolated issue. We use grass clippings to help prevent weeds. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but it cuts down 80% of the weeds, and less weeding means less labor, less frustration, and it works best for us. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel and share this video around, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.